One of our regular followers sent me a message this morning, and she said that she was really upset. She had been listening to episode 17, and I was talking about Rachel losing the baby. And she said, "Will you talk about that tonight? Will you talk about what she said to you and what was going on?" And then as I was looking at it, I thought, I could read a couple of paragraphs from episode 17 and then give you some history and show you a text message that Rachel sent me after she lost the baby. If you'll humor me, I will read to you for just a minute. From episode 17. While in Mexico, she did tell me that she was starting the chemo pill, which would keep our baby safe. That didn't go as planned. She claimed to be sick and essentially staying in the bathroom for the entire trip, with limited exception. She indicated that she was worried about the constant sickness and how it could possibly be impacting the pregnancy. On February 10th, she wrote to me. She claimed that she was suffering serious cramping, and she called for the doctor to come to her room while staying at the Moon Palace Resort in Cancun. She indicated that the doctor would be bringing a portable Doppler unit up. I guess that does an ultrasound to check the baby. The doctor arrived, and then she texted me. She said, "I have some awful news. The doctor couldn't find a heartbeat. I'm so sorry, Harry, I lost our baby." That was a crushing message, which left me feeling helpless. She was in another country, and I couldn't be there to provide any sort of support at all. Also, to add to the cruelty, don't you think losing our baby was perhaps worth a phone call? A very long one. She, of course, didn't have the time for a phone call because she was on vacation or with her family, with family that she thought she was a good mom to and a good wife to. And the newsflash here, she only loves herself. The doctor told her that the baby would most likely pass at some point over the next 12 to 24 hours naturally. She wrote to me at about 2 a.m. She indicated that the baby had passed and that she had her in her lap in a towel. That was tough to read. I didn't expect that. Here's the thing about that. By the way, when she came home, I was staying in that hotel, and I had ordered this from Amazon. And she said that the next day she was going to go and deal with cremation. She sent me a text on the 11th, which is the next day. It says, "We're both hurting today. Our daughter is a huge loss for us both." February 11th. I don't know why, but I save screenshots. And I'm so glad now that I did. I had no idea, right? I had no idea that this would be coming forth, that I'd be talking about this. I thought I was writing, and dealing with a great love story, right? I was not on to her at all. This is a good question from Lena. This, by the way, was around the time that she was stuck there with COVID in Mexico. I think she was done at that point with COVID. I think she was waiting to come home. She was allegedly waiting for the baby to pass. Let me tell you what I did find out, and I did talk about this in the podcast, is that when she sent that message on February 10th, she had been home. I didn't see her until February 15th, but she claimed that she was still there. I think this was after the phone call to Billy Bush. Prior to that message being sent to me. And it was crushing to me. That was on the 10th, or the 11th. The message was the 11th, that text I just showed you. It's, she comes home on the 14th, she claims. Sick from the miscarriage, sick from chemo, sick from COVID, like all the things. It's so much, You're not the only one that tears up, Lisa Marie. Others do. The woman that wrote to me this morning asking me to share the story again. She didn't ask me to read it. I wasn't going to read it. I shouldn't have read it. It upsets me to read it. And I'm not here to boo-hoo. I'm not here to go poor me at all. It's not me now. I got a girlfriend I love. And I'm grateful. I made it out. She comes home on the 14th. On the 15th was the day that I gave her the ring and said, will you marry me? I wrote a proposal. I kept it in my phone. I rehearsed that proposal 50 times. I actually wrote some notes just on a little tiny scrap of paper and put it in my hand. So if I choked, I had them there. But I got up that morning when I knew I was going to see her, and I was so excited to have her back and so excited to be able to console her, with the baby and all of that stuff. I got up that morning, I put on a suit, I shaved, I got all did up. And boom, she's like, what's this? And I bring her to the bed, and I get on my knee, and I got the ring on this pinky, and I take her hand in my right hand, and I'm talking to her, and I slide the ring. And it was like, to me, it was like, a moment, right? It was like, finally I'm able to give my heart to somebody. Finally I'm in a relationship where I'm emotionally available. This is what I end up with, right? But that was that moment, was that. And, of course she created another crisis after that with the stuff with her daughter and all that. But that's that story that I was asked to share today. So there you go. Lisa said, I'm sorry, it's so important that we hear the tough stuff to fully understand.